Ashdown.
I'm Liz Banks.
I'm Caitlin Bradley.
I'm Abby Eisenberg.
And in this field day, we went out and surveyed 20 students and asked them if they saw face pictures of objects we showed them. Each person in our group was given 5 surveys to give to our friends and other students around campus. On this survey, we asked for their gender and year of schooling, seeing if this would make a difference in the outcome of the survey. There were 4 pictures given and 2 choices on top of each picture, yes or no, if you can see the face or not. The psychological principle was that will be displayed through our field day was perception to patternicity, where our brains senses are prepared to interpret stimuli according to an unexpected model. In this, we find meaningful patterns, or meaningless patterns and meaningless noises. Type 1 error, or a false positive, is believing something that is real when it's really not, also known as non-existing patterns. And a type 2 error, or a false negative, is not believing something when it's actually real, which is apatternicity.
Okay, so patternicity, like Caitlin said, is our brain's tendency of trying to make sense out of meaningless information that we're given to, because when something is ambiguous to our brain, it tries to make assumptions and make sense of it to help satisfy us. And another word for patternicity is apophenia, and it's attributed by German neurologist and psychologist Klaus Conrad. So for the hypothesis, we believe that if we were to give each of the participants of our study 4 pictures and have them describe if they saw a picture or not, that the participants will see the faces over 50% of the time. Because it's such a common tendency for our brain to do, we believe that if we were to take 20 people and survey them, that over half the time they would be able to see the faces in the pictures. Okay, so the method of research, like we said, was we used a survey, and they were shown 4 different pictures, and they were asked to circle yes or no on each picture, and if they saw a face or not. And it was conducted through the closed-ended yes or no questions.
Alright, so as part of our presentation, we would like to use patternicity to see how your brain reacts by helping you first-hand experience. To do this, I'm going to show you all series of images. If you recognize the pattern or face, please raise your hands. So here's the first image. How do you see it? Right. The second one. The third one. The fourth one. Alright, so in this example, most people see 2 eyes from a window and a mouth from a door. But in reality, it's just a really fancy piece of architecture. And because our brains are wired to notice faces, this is why we see a face. In the next example, many people see Jesus, but it's just a burnt piece of toast. That's not it. This picture of a cinnamon bun is one of the most famous examples of patternicity. The cinnamon bun is called a nun bun. The nun bun became famous due to its resemblance to Mother Teresa. It was first discovered in 1996 of Tennessee. After appearing, Mother Teresa objected to the bun, discontinuing its popularity. However, in 2005, thieves broke into Bongo, Java, and stole the relic. A reward has been posted but has not been found. In this example, this is the Mars crater. There's a few conspiracy theories about it. Some people believe that aliens built this, and some people believe that humans actually walk the face of the earth, and this is just a human face.
Okay, so what were the findings? We found that our hypothesis was correct, and participants saw faces in our examples over 50% of the time. For picture 1, 90% of participants saw faces in this example. Picture 2 was the highest, with 100% of participants seeing faces in the picture. According to our results, the patternicity was highest in this photo. Picture 3 had the lowest patternicity, with participants only seeing a face 70% of the time. In picture 4, 95% of participants saw a face. Why is this, and what is patternicity? Patternicity is a phenomenon experienced by all humans. Our brains try to make sense out of meaningless information and define it. The more ambiguous the object is or picture is that we are seeing, the more our brains work to label it. This explains why people have a tendency to see faces in household objects and everyday items, including food. The patternicity effect was supported by our study. Dr. Michael Shermer is a well-established research psychologist who specializes in skeptic theories. In December 2008, he published an article on his website that linked the human habit of patternicity to the process of natural selection. Dr. Shermer says, I argue that our brains are belief engines, evolved pattern recognition machines that connect the dots and create meaning out of the patterns that we think we see in nature. Dr. Shermer says that when a recognized pattern is reality, we have learned something valuable from the environment that can help us make predictions about our future environments and that will aid in survival and reproduction. Other researchers tested Shermer's theory and found that whenever the cost of believing a false pattern is real is less than the cost of not believing a real pattern, natural selection will favor patternicity. Okay, so to explain, believing that the rustle in the grass is a dangerous predator when it is only the wind doesn't cost much, but believing that a dangerous predator is the wind may cost an animal its life. Relating Shermer's theory to our own study, we speculated that recognizing faces could be a survival technique to recognize a stranger in the distance or an enemy trying to hide from sight. In conclusion, our hypothesis was supported by the data from our surveys. Patternicity occurs on a daily basis, and this is demonstrated through our Field Day X study. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.